Hello, everybody. Greetings. Happy whatever day this is. Let me see, what day is this? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Today we have a very different live today. We're going to be doing some readings today. I am back in the swing of the readerizations. And so we're going to do that. Oh, yes. Today we are doing Bloodline blueprint readings. The intention of these readings is to reveal the ancestral energy that is connected to your lineage, how and what energy from your lineage is in you, connected to you, operating through you, what you got from your people. Also, we're going to investigate the energy of the family that you come from, and we will find this through the family's last name. And I'm going to pull some of my ancestor cards and messages. And of course, the channel is always open, honey. So as soon as we start talking about the ancestors, they come sliding on in. Okay. So when you send for this, if you would like to get on the list, please send your full birthday and your family last name, not your married last name, your family last name. Okay, because that's the energy that we're going to investigate. Okay, part of this specifically was aligned for the energy of the day, which is a number 6 day, universal day. And so the 6th universal day centers family and responsibility. Okay, and so we like to get clear on this, investigate this, and know what's going on. Okay. First, I got AD. One thing AD gonna do, AD not gonna waste no time. Peace, everybody. Good to see you. Hey, Scorpio Rising. Yes. Hey, Gloria. Ethereal Vortex. Man, I can't afford this one. I could seriously use this one big time, huh? Oh, wait. Hold on. My thing is not plugged in. 1 second. My whole phone was getting ready to my laptop was getting ready to blow up, child. Not plugged in. And so we're gonna get clear on this and do this and get this information. What I would say, Ethereal Vortex, is to listen for what resonates in some of the other people's readings today and trust that voice, because more than likely that is for you. There will never be a boundary, or let me say, a barrier between you and what you need from the spirit, especially not a financial one. So the message is going to get to you whether you have the 33 or not. Okay? So hold that. If you have been here connected to me for a while doing readings on live, you know that you don't have to get a reading to get a reading. So it'll happen like that. I have AD right now, then I have K and Cheryl. Yes. Okay. We're going to start with AD. Thank you. Make sure that you send your full birthday and the last name. Okay, I'm gonna need that from you when I get to yours. So right now the order is AD, K, and then Cheryl. Okay. Go my calculator. All right, AD. Say my prayer will begin. Divine Source, Divine Spirit. First, I'd like to come forward to say thank you for the chance, the opportunity to do the work that we're doing here on this live spirit. Allow the information to come through, the clarity to be heard and received. We call forth into the space all the ancestors that are connected to AD, that's working out for her wellness and her highest good, that is in alignment with the intention of what we are doing here today. As we dive into this ancestral energy for AD. Okay, let's get started. So, AD, you have. I just need to acknowledge this. As soon as I went into my prayer, the spirit showed me a couple of different things. Folks that were rural, working the land, but they showed me a specific uh, herb of tobacco. Okay, so this is honey, the smokers. Okay, but tobacco is a herb that is used a lot when it comes to working with ancestors. So that would be a good herb. You can get some non-toxic natural tobacco, okay, and burn that on your ancestor altar, or just put some of that on your ancestor altar, okay? Um, and this don't got nothing to do with the people who might have smoked cigarettes and got COPD and died, and we're not talking about none of that. We're just talking about the ancestral energy of that tobacco. Okay. Tobacco is used connected to like sweetgrass as well. This is a sacred plant that we utilize as offering. Tobacco can be used for purifying something. Okay. And for connecting to spirit. All right. You said I've been smelling cigarette smoke for 3 days. Get me out of here. Y'all get me out of here. You've been smelling cigarette smoke for the last 3 days, no matter where you go. That is the ancestor. You see how it works? Come on, ancestors. All right. Well, that's clearly your people. All right, coming through. And that has been your people coming through. Okay. So that is a specific herb that is used for the communication of your ancestors. So you have an ancestral current of 2. Okay. We find this number by the year that you were born. Okay. So you have a bloodline that carries themes of sensitivity, emotional sensitivity, of a lot of relationship burden, partnership lessons, partnership karma, relational wounds. I said partnership karma, partnership struggles, codependency. 2 is the number of peacemaking as well. These are the ancestors that would be the ones to get in the middle of battles, get in the middle of issues going on between family, between friends, because of that energy being so emotional and sensitive. You also have a suppressed voice because it's about making the peace. And you have an ancestry where they confuse peace and quiet. A lot of us believe even now that we are keeping the peace by keeping quiet, and that's not true. You also have an ancestry that is dedicated to service. So how this shows up in the energy that you inherited, all that got to do with you. But I want you to examine yourself for these wounds, inherited wounds. People pleasing. That's the number 2. Abandonment. Emotional suppression. Not wanting to let people to truly feel or know that you feel a certain way, or you feel hurt. Maybe you let them know that you're angry, but never the vulnerability of hurt or sad. Family tension, always being at odds with family or having to be the one to deal with the family tension. 2 also brings a fear of conflict. Sometimes you just let things ride. You don't confront things because you just don't want to get into that frequency. This also can inherit a wound of unstable relationships. 2 can also bring self-sacrificing. And because we're so caught up in the partnership, there is an ancestral current here where you can be at a loss of your identity through caregiving for others. All D, y'all don't see it on TikTok, but all D is sending is the target. We on point here. Okay. Tracking. That being said, I want you to know that while those are the inherited wounds, they may be some of the biggest things that you're windmilling, but I need you to know that some of that ain't really about you. A lot of that is really about what you are learning in this life experience and overcoming those things, thus bringing liberation and elevation to your ancestors. We elevate our ancestors through the wounds that we heal and the patterns that we overcome. So here are some ancestral gifts, though, that come with the number 2. You have an ancestral gift of healing. Your ancestors were natural healers, natural mediators. And this is the energy you got, not what your sister and them got. This the inner your family. This is what you got. Ancestral gift of mediation. You can mediate a breakdown between 2 people like no other. Because of that sensitivity, when you are in your nurturing bag, you can really nurture and care for. There's an ancestral gift of your intuition. And you don't got to see the facts. You can feel the facts. Okay? And you have a gift of repairing relationships. You said this whole reading is, come on, I'm learning so much. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. And relational repair. So like I said, you can mediate and heal. You can be the one to repair most any relationship, should you choose to do that. So the biggest question for the lineage is centered in that keeping the peace and quiet. There's a difference. You ain't been keeping the peace. You just been quiet. All right. Did this lineage survive through keeping peace or keeping quiet? And what is it that I'm choosing to do? Because sometimes a lot of peace is gathered by great war. Okay. When we examine the energy of the family name spirit, the last name comes to a 3. In that family spirit name, you also have the bloodline name that spirit tells us how the energy exists in the family, how the family expresses, and also how what are the familial patterns? What is this family known for? When you have that 3 there with that last name, y'all are known and expressed through your voice, through your communication, be it going off on somebody, cussing on somebody. It's your expression. Being a charismatic people, okay, and expressive people. Your family can tell a story like nobody's business. They got the facial expression, they got the different voices, they got the body movements, and yeah. Very performance-oriented people. They tend to have strong personalities and also very creative individuals, crafty individuals, very powerful in their communication and also in their cultural expression. Wherever they're from, you're going to know that's where they're from. And whatever team, sports team, color they like, whatever, you're going to know. Okay? That's the nature of that family. And so the wounds that just the name carries is centered in family drama, because 3 is also the spirit of gossip. Okay? It's in miscommunication. It's in how we avoid the deeper conversations because we always got a joke to tell. Right. How some folks is like, they don't want to deal with the real problem. Like when you call them out, they come with all these big fireworks of emotions. And you like, girl, you just trying to distract us. You crying, falling all out. Yeah, girl, you just trying to distract us. And because 3 is so fun, loving to have fun, this also can bring about an inconsistency with following through with what it is that they say they're going to do or with serious things. Hey, so what if my last name wasn't my rightful last name and I don't know it for real? What do you mean by your rightful last name? Okay. Answer that while I finish this. Okay. So that's what we have in the name spirit of the family. Let's see the ancestral messages for the lineage. What's the ancestral message for AD? So the message comes through a proverb that says, a snake that you can't see does not bite. What that means is, your ancestors don't want you to be so caught up in what is revealed. What's revealed about people, if it's that they know no good, they've been lying, cheating, stealing, or whatever the case is. Don't be upset by what is revealed, because the snake you can see does not bite. It's always the snake you can't see that bites you. So when the things are revealed, don't allow that to take you and spiral you. Instead, express your gratitude for the revelation. So then you know how to proceed forward and not be caught up in that ancestral current of hurt, because your number 2 is so sensitive emotionally. Okay? Thank you, AD. Wow, I'm dealing in a pit of snakes now. Confirmation. It was inherited by my grandmother by a man she married after she had my father and my biological grandfather. Do your father and your okay. What's the name that your father had, and thus the name that came to you? That makes perfect sense. Yes, I am a mother of color. Yes, I am. Let me tell you this about the smoke. When you said that, AD, when I smelled that tobacco smoke, it felt like a man earlier. When they kept showing me that tobacco, it was a heavy male, an older male. So I would say yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. It was a male with a. Was your father a smoker? He smoked cigarettes? Okay, you're next, and then Cheryl. Uh-huh. It was an older male energy. It felt masculine to me, but the only thing that they showed me was the tobacco smoke. When is his birthday? You know? Kay, where are you at, Kay? I need your birthday, and I need the last name of the family. 1217. Yes. Oh, wow. 1217. Yeah, well, look at that. He got a number 3 birthday. Okay, I see you, Kay. He has a number 3 birthday, which is directly in alignment with that name, Spirit Baby. Expressive. Okay, I got you, Mother of Color. Okay. Let me do Blair, but I don't know what the original name of his father. Okay, but is that the name that you carry right now, Blair? Because it's whatever name you carry that we're gonna, because we have to be mindful um of what we, that's why we are mindful, excuse me, of what we name our children. Oh, the last name's on your mother's side. Oh, okay, never mind. I was getting ready to say that's a good old, well, that might have been what drew them together. That 3. Uh-huh. Yeah, because my last name is not like my father, is my father's adopted last name, but that is the name that he wore. Oh yeah, we can always do that. Okay. Okay. KD, here we go, and then Cheryl. You're so welcome. KD, and then I'm on KD right now. Then I have Cheryl. All right. And then I have Mother of Color. Here we go. Lord Divine Soul, Divine Spirit, please connect me to KD's energy. Call me the answers connected to KD. KD, I have a question. So the spirit, while I'm doing this, the spirit keeps bringing me to my chest and to like my breath. almost making me feel like I was short of breath. Are you familiar with the ancestor that transitioned from a issue of breathing? This could be lung related or had asthma or something like that. I just want to understand what the feeling is that hit me when I was doing that prayer. Are you familiar with that? And because it's the chest, I want to first ask about the lungs or from a issue of breathing or having they had asthma. Oh, you have asthma. Myself, but I don't know any ancestor that I may have got it from or passed that way. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. I understand. Because I was like, now, why as soon as I tap in now, here I go having a breathing problem. Okay. I understand. So we probably gonna get some information on that in a moment. But let's get into it. That because sometimes, when I'm tapping into your frequency and your energy, and so that type of stuff is likely to happen. So you have an ancestral current of 8. Okay. So when you have an ancestral current 8, you have a lineage that is shaped. And remember, the ancestral current is letting us know what we specifically inherited. 8 is the number of power. 8 is the number of money, authority, and responsibility. Taking a responsibility. So 8 tends to have a lineage shaped by power struggles, financial lessons, lots of money, lessons around money. These are the ancestors who knew how to survive through hardships and thus was shaped out of a fear of hardship, right? Ancestors who had a lot of generational burdens, carried a lot. I find those with the 8, when I talked about that responsibility, carry a lot from their own family. So you tend to carry the family responsibility. Okay. Anything going wrong or the emotions or the worries of other people or the problems, we tend to be the one to throw that on our back. Some of the wounds that you inherited is navigating through poverty cycles, right? And if you yourself don't experience poverty cycles, so to speak, you see I want you to think about the feelings that hit your body when money is low, right? Or there's a change to the flow of funds or the cost of something increases. Any feeling of anxiety or stress that hits you when we talk about those things, it's an ancestral energy. It's tapping on that ancestral wound. Because 8 deals with power, you tend to have come up against power abuse. So individuals who have misused their power, all right, you tend to be at odds with authority because of that. Wounds dealing with family hierarchy. So this person believing they're higher than or more entitled than the other person. All right. That is also connected to the 8. 8 also deals with health issues that are, people don't know what's happening because 8 tends to be so prideful that they don't be telling you the fullness of what's going on anyway, because there's a fear of being weak. That's an inherited wound. 8s are also hyper independent. All right. So you be like, it's an ancestral. And think about your family, right? Those individuals who carry these traits, who are, don't matter, they should ask for help and they're not. And they're not. But in that comes gifts. gifts pertaining to leadership. You said very true, LOL. That hyper independence gets me every time. Yeah. But you got to know it's so heavy because it's ancestral, right? But you inherited a gift of leadership from your ancestors. You inherited a resilience. You also, when you have that 8, you are someone that, like, if you shake some rocks and blow some smoke, honey, your best work is in your protection work. And you are a fierce protector of your family and of your people when you have that 8. Okay? I love your style. Thank you so much. I was just exploring and trying to put a name to my style today. And I give, listen, Black Bohemian royalty. Excuse me. I give spiritual dandy. Huh? I give griot glamour. Okay. Thank you so much. You also inherited an ancestral gift of business. You're a business-minded person. And strategy. That just resonated for me. Because I got that same current of 8. Of course. Didn't griot glamour that 8, didn't it? The category is griot glamour. Okay. And also a pressure of building legacy. 8, when you got that 8 there, you got a mind for legacy. And you want to make sure that you are building something that's going to last, something for the future, for the generations to come. And there is something that people can stand on and rely on, right? Furthermore, when we continue, when we get to the name spirit, a Freeman, get ready to gag. It's also an 8. So you got a double dose of 8. It is in your ancestor current, and it is also in the spirit of your last name. So that is that family, which if it's the paternal, maternal, whichever one, that's that family. Authoritarian, strength, strong, disciplined, status. Their identity carries that structure and survival, even in the free man, right? Survival. The family has the strength of providers, right? And also a strong public identity. They are known people, whether it's good or bad. You got a lineage of people that in their circles, they are known. Okay? They is somebody. But we also know, as I said earlier, that brings the energy of domination and family pressure. So you have a double 8 bloodline. Issues with control. Burnout. Just working too hard. So now that you know this, you have to know that you have a healing assignment to redefine that power. You have a healing assignment to release fear-based control and to build sustainable legacy, legitimate sustainable legacy. Healing yourself of money trauma. That's a healing assignment. Okay? How can you be a leader and have your responsibility, but not lead yourself into self-destruction? But here's the thing. That means you are the example. And that is a big assignment. Let's see what your ancestors have to say. You got the butcher knife in reverse. Okay? Ooh, hold on. The butcher knife normally represents betrayal from other people. The butcher knife in reverse is representative of a betrayal of self. When you work yourself to the bone, when you give yourself, you burn yourself out, when you operate from a fear-based center, a control, fear-based control, when you allow your ego to get in the way, when you allow all of the wounds that we talked about with the 8, it is a self-betrayal. What good is it? You don't even need an enemy when you have you. Your ancestors want you to identify all the way that you have betrayed yourself. And that can be through pressure. So even with, you said, whew, even with the assignment, that's big. The spirit of Jill Scott said, so much pressure to appear like them. Depressurize yourself. And you know what all this pressure and all this overwork and all this overload can do? That's the asthma. That's the energy behind the asthma. The body symbolically struggling with breath restriction and chest tightness and pressure. Stop betraying yourself by putting yourself in a pressure cooker. Your mission is, how can I depressurize myself? When you have all those restrictions, you can't breathe freely. When you're worried about this and having to control this and spreading yourself here, where is the ability to breathe freely? Okay? The need to release pressure, to grieve, to slow down. Okay? We just trying to survive. That's a labor breath. But when we're free, we not struggling like that. Gratitude, grace and rhythm to you, KD. Baby, we getting down to it. You see, I have to say this. We gets down to it over here. That's why I am not the worker, the seer, the spiritualist to ask you to answer, should I stay with, is Trayvon cheating on me or not? We're getting down to the ancestral wounds, bitch. Excuse me. Okay? We're getting down to it. I just had to get that off my chest and depressurize myself. And they know because you asking me because Trayvon is cheating. You already know that. I'm not discussing the AI. You know what you want to do. I'm not discussing the 8th house in astrology. Now, this is in the Afro-numerological system of the numbers. Of course, correct that so the people don't come in here and be like, now what's going on? And then they saying I'm wrong. Okay, I got Cheryl next. Cheryl, which one you want to go with? You want to go with your maternal or your paternal? Because I have Turner here. You want to go with that? Is that the one you carry? What's the one you carry? Ethereal Vortex, what year were you born? Sure, you want to go with Turner? Okay, is that Turner? Is that Turner? My Lord. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's look at this. After Cheryl, I have Mitzi and then Kiara, and that's all I got at the moment. At the moment. Okay. Ethereal Vortex, you 1992, you got a 3. Ancestral Current, which is ancestors who are centered in self-expression, their and communication. Ancestors who tried to be suppressed spiritually, to which your ancestral current carries you a burden of the need to express yourself and not be limited or not be silenced. You got an ancestry of a bunch of people who was windmilling for joy and who was limiting their expression. And you are rebellious because you carry the current and the need from your ancestral lineage and the charge and the assignment to free yourself. And as you liberate yourself, you liberate your lineage. So Cheryl, Hayatabo Shata, you have an ancestral current of 1. Let me say my prayer. Our divine source, divine spirit, please connect me to Cheryl and the ancestors. Cheryl, I have a question. Now, what's so interesting with this paternal energy, they kept showing me weaponry when I was doing my prayers, connecting to your lineage, like somebody that was a shooter or had a blade and they didn't play no games. This is a violent spirit. Not bad, but this is the type of ancestral energy that's coming through. These are some men and women that will shoot you. Excuse me. Okay? They didn't play no games. All right? And I'm going to say that. And now I'm going to say this. I had to get that out the way. So you have an ancestral current of 1. It is the number 1. Yeah, my paternal aren't to be played with. Okay, I understand. I immediately start seeing weapons. Blades, guns, they're not playing no games. They're coming to get you. All right. And I just need them to know I'm only here to help. Hello, pardon. Pardon me. Mm-hmm. Pardon me. I'm here to help I've already dealt with being shot out in my life. I don't want to be shot again. Please. Thank you. Oh, somebody else done slid through here. Christina, not sure what you need. I'm late. That's okay. I'll tell you, Christina. It'll just be your birth year and then whatever the family last name you want to, the name of the last name of your family. Okay, so you got that number one spirit. So when you have this number one ancestral current, Cheryl, this paternal lineage is shaped by pioneers. All right. These were a series of first people. These are the folks that are connected to you. So this ain't the full paternal lineage. These are individuals in the lineage, in the paternal lineage that this number one energy aligns with. We don't inherit everything from our ancestors. There's specific energies that we get and specific energy that is dealt for other people. So you got, if you think about the ancestors, that's the pioneers in your paternal lineage. Those were the first. They were the first one to do this, the first one to leave home, the first one to start this business, the first one to go here, the first. Okay. This also in that number one energy breeds a father energy, right? Heavy masculine men and women. They were fathering, okay? Also, ancestors who survived through a self-reliance. All right? They relied on themselves. These also were people who would reinvent themselves. Then do you find them changing names, honey? Changing location, changing fields? They're reinventing themselves. These were courageous people that connected to you. Some of the wounds that you inherit from them, because you got the number one, is loneliness, hyper independence, emotional isolation. You know, ego wounds, because they're such a people that is serious about their identity. So here comes the ego wounds. Here comes those that were leaders that might not have been supported. So you get in the energy of an unsupported leadership where you're having to do it all. Cheryl, did you feel that, was your father present in your life? Because sometimes this one energy can show up because there is a absence of fathering energy. So the ancestors come through and send that. No, he wasn't. Oh, okay. Got it. Hence that energy, that pressure of dealing with a fragmented family and that pressure to figure it out alone. These are inherited wounds. And gifts that come from this energy, though, right, is a leadership, baby. You have a gift of leadership. You have a gift of innovation, of doing things uniquely and differently. That's the ancestral gifts they're pouring onto you. A courage to just go for it, go after things that people would normally be like, oh Lord, I wouldn't do that if I was you. This is an energy of entrepreneurship, should you choose to take that route, or if you have a gifting of entrepreneurship. And you have a gifting of defining yourself. So you're going to be at odds with systems that try to define you, Cheryl. because the gifting you have is self-definition. Okay? The ancestral energy and the lineage that you inherited, did they survive? Here's the core question. Because no one else came to save them. And what are the implications of not waiting on no one to save you? And the power thing that is connected to your family name spirit, it is a 33. Turner, normally you could reduce it, but Turner actually is a number of a healer. That's the master healer, 33. So your family, that family, contained amplified lessons of family, of service, of sacrifice, and restoration. So this is a family where they got that Turner last name, generational healing, heavy family burdens. The martyr. Think about those ancestors, those with that last name that would sacrifice themselves, right? Those who would overtake the responsibility. So they have too much. They take on too much responsibility. And those who also were leaders in their community. Okay? So part of these, your ancestry, these are the protectors, the community builders. There's a teacher energy that is connected with this. And then there's also the self-neglect that comes with the 33. And being so enmeshed in the family that you don't really get outside of that or grow outside of that. Savior complexes, right? Jesus Christ having to die for everybody's sins. And guilt. Okay? And so your healing assignment, when you got that 1 and you got that 3, is to make sure that you are releasing hyper independence, because hyper is not good. That's too much. Okay? That you are balancing your selfhood with service. You're not so giving that you don't give nothing to yourself in the process. Okay? And that you do your work of establishing necessary boundaries. That's how we heal. That's your healing assignment with that lineage. We're going to break the martyr. Let's get the message. I'm sorry, let me close this out. So the proverb that the Turners, that ancestor energy is sending you is this. If 2 wise men always agree, then there is no need for one of them. Do y'all hear that? If two wise men always agree, then there's no need for one of them. The ancestors are saying that agreement is not always alignment. Sometimes, Cheryl, the person who challenges you is the one that's helping you to grow. Your ancestors don't want you to confuse disagreement with disrespect. All right? A true wise voice may not echo you, but a true wise voice will always sharpen you. So you do not need people around you who only confirm what you already believe. You need mirrors and elders and witnesses and truth tellers. And the blessing is not in everyone saying yes. The blessing is in being surrounded by people who are wise enough to see what you cannot. And that is the message. Hayata Boshata. Ain't that a word? Thank you. You are so welcome. Isn't that a word, y'all? Baby, a word and a half. It's a word and a half. Next up, don't y'all now see, and I'm gonna get off of this. I'm just gonna continue. I have Mitzi, and then I have Kiara, and then I have Christina. Mitzi, tell me what's the year, what's your birthday, and then the last name. We're gonna look into that energy of the family. Then it's Kiara, then it's Christina. That's what I'm saying. We gets down to it over here. We're not doing no willy foo foo. We're getting down to it. Okay, I apologize. I'm new to your channel. Oh, no problem. Hey, Phoenix Rising, no problem. If you want to get on the list for this reading, all you have to do is send. So the Cash App is on the screen. It's 3333, and in the memo, put your full birthday and the last name of the lineage. Oh Lord, you seeing? That's why it's you. Lord have mercy. Now look at that. Your maternal last name, Ethereal. Didn't I tell you? Look, your maternal last name is Turner. And we just did the energy of the Turner. So you get it, even if you don't got it. Ain't that a you will get it, even if you don't got it. No problem. Thank you. All right. Let's see. 69 and 93. Last name is King. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, I always do this. I'm going to pour it down here. I always be pouring too much of my cleanser. Here we go. All right, divine source, divine spirit. Please connect me. What's that noise? Something stopped playing on my. Okay. Please connect me, spirit, to Mitzi's energy. To the ancestors therein. Got a wellness center that can provide the contents. Okay, let's get into it. First thing is that they're showing me is the cross. but they're showing me the 4 points of the cross. It's a double symbolism. This is a lineage, honey, uh, that has had to windmill religion and power and being nailed down by that. Okay? That's the first image. So let me just tell you this. Just stay away from a cross. Don't wear it. Don't put it on. It is not a good sign for your lineage. Okay? So let's get into it. You got an ancestral current of 4. All right? Ancestral current of 4. And so the 4 current reveals a lineage that is shaped by structure and labor and discipline. That's the 4. And survival through hard work and family order. This is the order. This is who is the highest, the lowest, in the middle. This who you talk to. This is how this goes. There's an energy of authority because of that 4, of rigid systems and of generational responsibility. Okay? And some wounds that are inherited when you have that 4 is rigidity, very rigid, having to deal with people, family, relationships that are so bound and restricted. 4, because 4 is so work related. 4 ain't got time to feel. So this is equally an energy or ancestry who suppress emotion. They're overworking. You inherited that. You inherit scarcity mindset, thinking that there's not enough of something that you need and that it could run out. You, again, the 4, inherit an authoritarian family system. Ain't that a gag? Let me tell you something. Niggas lie, but the numbers don't. Excuse me. Okay. Burden and the fear of instability. And we're going to put more emphasis on our survival than we are going to put on joy. Okay? But there, through the shadow always gives you teeth. That's a chapter in my book. The shadow gave me teeth. So these are the builders and the protectors, the organizers. This is gifts that you inherited. You're a builder. You're an organizer. When you are in leadership, you are a disciplined leader. You are also someone who will come through and stabilize their legacy. And another thing you inherited is a power of endurance. Baby, you can endure, which is good and also a trick bad, because then we just be enduring stuff we don't need to endure because we can. One of the questions you need to ask in your ancestral journey is, do I have a lineage that survived by building or by being burdened by constant labor? And what do I want to do? Do I want to build or do I want to be burdened by constant labor? We move on to the king. Lord have mercy. The king last name, which is so interesting, because when we look at that spirit, you have, it actually comes to a 5. which I find so interesting because as structured as this lineage is, they are in a direct conflict with the energy of their name, because 5 is actually the number of movement and freedom and change and rebellion and adaptability and charisma. They can talk their way in and out of anything. That 5 is also unpredictability. The strengths of that is those who survive through change, those who survive through innovations, those who were the travelers and the risk takers, those who were the magnetic personalities. That's in the strengths. Now, these also were people of instability, be it mental instability, emotional instability. The 5 is also a difference maker in freedom versus recklessness, and what you do with your freedom and your ability to be a mover, right? Inconsistency, patterns of avoidance, patterns of addiction, various levels of addiction, from drug addiction to power addiction. I find that 5 loves thrills. So these are thrill seekers. And because they have that 4 energy, these are people who get thrilled out of being able to use their power. Okay? That's the wounds. All right? So the pattern is a family that learned survival through discipline, yet they deeply long for liberation, deeply long to be free. And I can say this because I know this from you. Think about how long your mother endured, right? So that's that 4 energy. You see what I'm saying? But the longing for freedom, the longing to break from that system and from that hierarchy. So your healing assignment is to balance freedom with structure. You can be free, but you also have to have a structure. You also are going to be a healer of scarcity wounds. You're also going to release this energy of overworking. And you can redefine what power and authority means on behalf of your lineage and send a new frequency going forward. How can I build without being imprisoned? Let's see what the king with this 4 energy has to connect to you. Is there a connection with you and an ancestor and the butterfly, or an experience with the butterfly, or a butterfly imagery that you can think of, Mitzi? Spirit, what's the message? Because a woman just placed a butterfly in front of me. Is there an ancestral connection to that you're aware of? Metaphorical. I want you, well, which, we talk about the spirit of transformation. Okay, Kiera, no problem. Yeah, we're talking about the spirit of transformation and change. And so there's a maternal energy that is wanting you to fully embrace change and don't halfway change. Don't halfway free yourself, but to give yourself the permission to fully break free. When the butterflies in the chrysalis and it breaks down all that it has learned into a liquid essence. And from that liquid essence, it begins to sprout its wings and it emerges. Don't halfway liberate. Because if you're halfway liberated, you ain't really free. That being said, there's a card that comes out of here is the hospital. And the hospital comes out reversed. Okay, so this is a warning card where your ancestors are warning you about your self-neglect and your avoidance and your delay of healing. What about your healing, both physical, emotional, and spiritual? Are you ignoring or postponing or mishandling? Okay. I want to tell you this from personal experience. Healing cannot occur where denial lives. So your ancestors are urging you to confront what has been left untreated. And it's not about a catastrophe, but it is a warning that when you neglect yourself, you compound the suffering. So what am I avoiding addressing? Where have I normalized dysfunction? What support, what treatment, what spiritual care have I delayed? And am I an individual who tends to symptoms and not to the root? Okay? Cleanse, rest, seek counsel, seek treatment, and honor your body. An issue buried alive does not die, it festers. As such, a wound ignored does not disappear, it just deepens. That's from your ancestors. Okay? I said they came to swinging. And I have to work there in August. Oh, that's right. That's all right. Listen, the ancestors will tell us what we need to know, not what we want. Thank you. Next, Kiara wanted me to come back to her, so I'm gonna do Christina. Christina, what's your birthday and the last name of the family energy we are tapping into? This is good. This is real good. Come on, Nicole. Nicole said, let me slide on in. Excuse me, pardon me. Okay, after Christina, I'm going to do Kiara if she's back, and then I have Nicole. Norris. Okay, maternal. Norris. Make sure I do Norris. Okay. All right, let's get into it. So, got it. So you have a ancestral current of 8, which you know because you know your sacred count, Hayetabo Shatai. The family name is Norris, right? So when you have, oh, Darcel, you out of order. Wait a minute. Let me do this correctly. Hold on. You see, I got to get the structure in. Okay. When you have an 8 current, you have a bloodline that has been shaped through survival through hardship, issues with authority, wounded by authority, or mishandling their own power. Thus, the power struggles. Ambitious ancestral energy. Um, Too ambitious? Maybe. 8 also has a material pressure to have certain funds, pressure to maintain certain stability. I also find 8 tend to have a lineage that was wronged. And so there is a karmic justice or a desire to get justice. And so we end up not being, when there's an injustice that occurs when you have an 8 in the ancestral current, there's an ancestral fire behind why you don't go for it or you don't let nothing slide. Okay. And when you have that 8, you can inherit certain wounds, because 8 is connected to wealth and money. There is a poverty consciousness that you battle. There is an emotional suppressing wound. There is a wound dealing with power and authority figures who mishandled their power. Control issues. You having control issues, right? You feeling burdened as a leader. And also overworking. That's ancestral. But there are gifts that come in because, baby, when you got that 8, on behalf of your ancestors, let me tell you, they have given you the ability to be a builder, to be a provider. You can get out there and make some things shake. Okay, to be a leader, to be a protector. Okay, a wealth builder, a strategic thinker. And baby, one thing about an 8, we are powerful survivors. Oh, that has blessed me. A powerful survivor. All right. Now, when we go into the spirit of the Norris family, it comes to a 3. And the 3 is a family and a bloodline that expresses themselves through their voice and through their communication and then through their charisma and how they tell stories, their humor, their creativity, and also social presence. Very concerned with how they are seen socially. So this is a lineage, a family, with a strength of communicators, of educators, of magnetic personalities, of teachers, of artists, and expressive survival. With that, 3 always brings family wounds of family drama. Always brings wounds in the family of miscommunication, of emotional masking. So you never really know how people feel until it's too late. Scattered focus. All right. And so because of that, the healing assignment for you on behalf of your lineage is to heal power struggles, which, because I know through our work, you're doing that. Reclaiming healthy authority. How can I be in power, but do it in a way that is healthy and not harmful? How can I not silence myself, but how can I use my voice intentionally? How can I speak up? How can I break emotional suppression cycles? Right? That's the healing assignment, and you're doing it. Let me see. Norris. 8. Who on your mother's side? That's the issue my family face all the time. Nobody talks to each other, but talks about each other. Who is the diabetic, Christina? Or yes, it's diabetic. Who was a diabetic? Because the symbolism they gave me was sweets, cakes, pies, things like that from that line. Your grandmother. Now your grandmother, was she also the one that came through before with the fabric and the lace and things? Yeah, Kiara. Of course. Yeah, no problem. Handle that. Which one should you do? I'd rather you get it while you're on here. So I'm getting back on tomorrow. And so just remind me. Yes, she was. Okay, Christina, good. Well, she's the one that's getting ready to deliver this message, okay? Gratitude, Grandma. No wonder, because she looks kind of like the way that the clothing looked, like she's making a comment to what I have. It's like directing her energy to what I have on, so that she would like this combination of colors, this pink and all this, magenta and all that. Like she would like that. Okay. What's the message for Christina? Yeah, she loved pastels and bright colors. Okay. Got it. Got it. Come on, Grandma. Oh, we honor her. We honor her. So the card that comes out here is the river. And the river represents movement and emotional truth and divine flow. The ancestors are speaking of transition and release and the need to move with life rather than against life. So your grandmother is wanting to remind you to continue the surrender to divine timing, because that's really the only timing that we got. And also allow and receive the information and the wisdom that is flowing towards you. At no point are you meant to be stagnant. The river comes to remind you that feeling, healing, wisdom, and transformation require movement. And so whatever is hard and rocky and rigid has got to be softened. And what is blocked, we got to release. So where are you resisting necessary change? Where are you still resisting the flow? Where are you holding on to emotions that you need to release? So the suggestion for you is to take a spiritual bath, a cleansing bath, spend time near water. Now, don't that sound like your ancestors when they have come through before? Release, journal, pray, all that. But most importantly, allow spirit to move through you. The water will heal through motion. All water cleans itself through motion. The river only stays pure because it moves, not because it's stagnant. Okay? Oh, she made y'all's Easter Sunday dresses? She made, oh, that's beautiful. Yes. Oh, I love that. Yes. Good, good, good. Okay, Christina. Thank you. Nicole. Nicole, 16. Hey, hey, hey. Nicole, this you here on TikTok? Yes. Come along and ride on the van. Oh, you're on YouTube. Okay. Oh, thank y'all for the likes. My grandma was my person, the only one who understood me. Okay. Well, listen, that and the girl has yet to give up on you. Okay. She's still like nationwide is on your side. Okay. You love these glasses? Thank you. All right, Nicole, here we go. I thank y'all for supporting and still being here and sharing this time and this energy with me. I appreciate it. So, okay, Nicole, I have a couple of questions for you. Spirit keeps showing me you as a baby and someone particularly raising you as a baby, or maybe being around you as a baby, but like either they passed, like they only saw you as a baby, or they passed before you could really get to know them. Does that have a connection to you? I want to be clear with this. I just want to get clear on that so I can understand what that means. Because y'all, I'm dusting off my clairvoyance bones. So I want to get clear on what that means, because they kept showing me you as a baby and someone taking care of you as a baby. But I feel that they either was no longer with you after that. Like they held you, took care of you as a baby, but they were not with you. Maternal and paternal grandfathers. Okay, got it. So they were with you as baby, but they passed before you could really get to know them. Is that accurate? Okay. What was the other thing? The next thing that I want to get clear about is there's a necklace or a piece of jewelry. I believe this is a necklace. Do you have a necklace that came from an ancestor that has transitioned? Piece of jewelry. It felt like it was on a neck. I want to get clear on what I was seeing. It felt like a neck. I don't know. Um, it's a jewelry, and they showed me like a woman's neck, so I feel like it's. My mother bought me my crab cancer pendant. Oh, Ashe. Okay, got it, got it, got it. Well, your ancestors come in deep. We got the grandparents, the grandfathers coming in, and mama wanting to give you these symbols and signs. So when ancestors come through like this, they're always going to try to give you something that you can remember them by, because it's about feeling and memory. So they give that not only as evidence of them, but they also give that as a way for you to remember that moment and what that represents for you. Okay? Ashe. Grace and rhythm to the ancestors. We honor them. Let's get into your things, girl. Okay. And I think you're the last one because Kiara had to step away. So let me go ahead and close this. How beautiful. Hold on, let me just make sure I ain't tripping. Okay, good. And I'm gonna take this down. All right. So let's look at it. So you have an ancestral current 9. Okay. Oh, we're so grateful. I'm gonna get so that fills me up so much. As a reminder that our ancestors are with us and present, and they are supporting us, loving us, and ain't nothing changed. So when you have an ancestral current of 9, you have a lineage that is shaped by sacrifice and grief and endings. These are also humanitarians, ancestors who were the helpers and the healers who would show up in times of crisis and knew how to step in. The compassion ones, the ones um, who were of collective healing and were often liberated through suffering. Mm. Liberated through loss. Wow. Oh, that's blessing me. And because you have this, you also have to be mindful of ancestors, of an inherent ancestor wound, of martyrdom, being the martyr, being the one that has to suffer for everybody or take it because you can. Inherit wounds of unresolved grief, grief that you just haven't allowed yourself to fully process. It's always an energy of overextension emotionally. Inherit wounds of overgiving, of carrying the pain of the family. That's our nines, honey. How do I know? I am a number 9 soul nature, so I know. And also savior complexes, like you got to be the one. If you don't do it, Lord have mercy. Damn, just exposing me on this fine Tuesday. If you don't do it, Lord have mercy. Who gonna do this? Who is gonna do it if you don't do it yourself? All right. And this gives you the gifts, honey. The gifts of the healers, the gifts of the spiritual workers, the gifts of the wisdom keepers, the gifts of the teachers, of the compassionate leaders, of the intuitive gifts who you have an empathy, an empathic ability that comes from your ancestors. And you have the choice. Are you going to survive through healing or are you going to survive through sacrifice? I choose healing for 500. What makes this even more powerful is you have in the actual spirit of the Johnson family, you have a 5, which is the bloodline's identity, expressing through freedom and movement and rebellion and unpredictability and liberation. So liberation is on the mind of the lineage at every point. This gives you a strength, your family, the Johnsons, a strength as resilient survivors. This gives them a strength as versatile leaders, a strength as freedom seekers and innovators. And we got to be mindful of the wounds connected to inconsistency and addiction patterns and avoidance, because that's that 5. Baby, that's that 5. Okay? And a scattered identity. So your healing assignment, Nicole, is to release the martyr, is to go to grief counseling, is to process grief, is to be free but grounded, and learn how to be liberated without the chaos. All right? Freedom has got to be rooted in healing, honey, or it's going to just become another form of escape in your lineage. Let's see what the ancestor cards have to say, honey. What do the ancestors, the Johnsons, those of the 9 and the 5 have to say? Nicole, who also was the ancestor that was a avid reader, or who's an avid reader, like books, or they love reading or studying? This also could be you, but that came up when I'm ready to ask what they have to say. Me and mom. Okay, is your mom still in the physical? Or has she transitioned? Hmm. No, she has transitioned. Okay. Well, let me tell you, this is definitely her coming in here, because the card that's at the bottom of the deck is the ancestor of mothering. This is the maternal energies. So right when I was like, what do they have to say? She showed me a book opening, which was my symbol for someone who was a reader, and y'all connected in that way. Okay? So hey mom, we're grateful that you're here. So mama is bringing you two messages, well, three really. The bread you have is worth more than the fish you don't. Your mother is speaking directly to you about gratitude and about realism, and also about a management of your resource. So this can be a warning to you about overreaching or envy or abandoning what is already sustaining you. While, hey, boo, while you're chasing something uncertain. So value what's in your hands. Yes, that may be what I want, but what's in my hands? What are the existing blessings? What are the existing resources and relationships and opportunities? Those may hold more stability than the fantasies that we have that are not here yet. The next message, honey, she had three things to say. Okay. All monkeys can't hang from the same branch. So this is a message that centers capacity and community and your own individual path. And this says that not everyone can occupy the same space or the same role or the same opportunity. There are limits. And trying to force everyone or everything into one place creates instability. Boundary issues, honey. Relationships that are misaligned, competing energies. So there's a need to diversify your approach. So discern where you belong and who belongs where. Some people and plans or obligations cannot all be sustained at the same time. And the last message your mother has is with this Miss Sarah. This is an ancestor card that represents feminine guidance and elder insight. Oh, that makes me so happy. Don't ignore wise counsel, even if the wise counsel is your intuition. Don't ignore that. There's also an overgiving and an overextending of yourself, and a failure to properly strategize and time things out so that you don't overextend yourself. The shadow message here is not centered in you having a lack of blessing, but poor stewardship over the self. Okay? So the prescription is to currently let me honor my stability, what is keeping me. Let me strengthen my boundaries. Let me seek an elder or spiritual counsel. Let me look at all my resources and reassess. And let me practice gratitude. And that's going to lend me to building wisely. A wise person also will feed themselves first before chasing deeper waters. All right? Grace and rhythm to you, Nicole. She's right, as usual. Honor to the ancestors that have come in today to lead us, to guide us, to help us, to restore us. We will always, always give honor to our ancestors. We will not be foolish and say foolish things like, I'm not my ancestors. You can't help but be your ancestors. You are. And those who say I'm not my ancestors have some anti-blackness attached to the way they see them. And let that not be you in this season or in the season going forward. We send gratitude, also ancestors. We release y'all. Y'all do not have to stick around in here and terrorize me. Please. It is so, so it is. We let you out. We thank you. And we also close the door. We close the door. And so it is. And so it is. Y'all, wasn't that good? You are welcome. Wasn't that good, y'all? This has blessed me. For real. This has blessed me. Did y'all get, even if you didn't get a reading, did y'all get some messages? What anything resonate with y'all from what you heard today? I got a couple. Couple of things hit me. Hold on. Catch you at another time. Oh, Kira, I thought that you was gonna come back. I'm sorry. I thought that's what you said. Did I misunderstand? Well, I mean, if you're here now, we can do it now. I just know that you had, I think you said like you had a call or something like that. Are you able to do it now? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I got it right on my calendar to be right here tomorrow. And so I'm gonna try to come more early. So like around 11 or 12 Central Standard Time. Mm-hmm. It's on here. So if I try to dispute you, you can go back and say, Darcel, go to this minute on this video. This is what you said. Now, you know I never do that. Thank you. But you know how we do? We would get into the things, honey. So it'd be like, Ooh. What I gotta update? Okay. I'll holler at y'all. Where do you go to book your session? Bio.site slash darcellandre. Is that a clickable link? Does that come up on YouTube? And then it should say book there. Let me see. I always wondered if that shows up as a clickable. Oh, what was that? Like a gnat flew in my ear. Get out of here, wandering spirits. The gnat tried to take me out. Why'd I have to do all this? All I had to do, Darcel, was go here and view on YouTube. Oh, why didn't y'all tell me something was on my lip? So it's bio.site slash darcellandre. Yes, and it should say book spiritual services. Oh wait a minute. What the problem is? Hold on, my spiritual services link is not working. Hold on. Let me fix this here right now. Oh hell, that's what the problem is. Okay, I need to fix this on here. So give me about 10 minutes before you go to book, okay? All right. I love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Peace.